What is ADHD, and how does it affect those who live with it? Do you know anybody who lives with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, also known as ADHD, which is how what I will be referring to it as? I have ADHD, and also many of my family members also have it. The three main points I will be talking about during the speech are: what is ADHD and the different types? What are the symptoms of ADHD? And why does it seem that ADHD tends to run in families? What is ADHD and what are the different types? ADHD is defined as a condition characterized by an inability to focus attention or to inhibit impulsive hyperactive behaviors. It is also associated with behavior that results in poor performance in educational, social, or work settings. This is from an article written by Block and others. Although in this definition it says that those with ADHD tend to struggle in educational, social, or work settings, that is not necessarily true, as many of us with ADHD do well in school, such as myself. I am a high school senior through dual enrollment, and I currently have a 4.0 GPA. The three different types of ADHD are inattentive, hyperactive, and in combination type. The inattentive type, people with this type have a hard time paying attention and tend to daydream. Typically, they're not very fidgety, and it's harder to diagnose because it's not as easy for others to see from the outside. The hyperactive type, people with this type tend to be very fidgety and talk a lot. Many people with this type of ADHD and the combined type like fidgets, such as this. I personally love playing with fidgets because it gives me something to do with my hands while I'm talking or working on homework. And then the combined type is a combination of both the other types. People with this type, such as myself, are both very fidgety and have a hard time paying attention. This is also the most common type for children and teens to be diagnosed with. So what are the symptoms of ADHD? Symptoms vary based on the type of ADHD and the person and the individual person. Some of the symptoms for inattentive type are often making mistakes on assignments, have a hard time keeping their attention on something for a long period of time, and seem to not be listening while being talked to. Symptoms of hyperactive type are very fidgety, such as will take apart pencils or pens or stuff like that, have a hard time sitting still, and talk a lot, and sometimes will blur out answers, which I used to do when I was younger. Symptoms of combined type is a combination of symptoms from both the other types. And then some symptoms that appear in all types of ADHD are people with ADHD tend to be bad time management, such as we may, because a lot of us deal with something called time blindness, where we have a hard time keeping track of how much time has passed. Such as an hour can feel like a minute, or a minute can feel like an hour. And then many of us are also have impulsivity. So why does it seem that ADHD tends to run in families? Although the cause of ADHD is not known for sure, it is presumed to be genetic. The main theory is that ADHD is genetic, as those with a first-degree relative, such as a parent, sibling, or child, with ADHD are 2 to 8 times more likely to have ADHD than those who don't. This is also from the article by Block and others. In my family, my father, sister, and I have ADHD that are diagnosed. Although we have many family members who either unfortunately have passed or are much older and have not been diagnosed, but we feel may have had it in their life. My sister and I inherited the ADHD from our father. During the speech, I've talked about the what ADHD is and the different types, common symptoms for ADHD, and why it tends to run in families. Thank you.